Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, tighten your cerebral seatbelts because we are about to dive headfirst into the tempestuous vortex of rap world politics, social dynamics, and podcast drama.
Come here. Turn around. Yeah, me too. Me too. I do that all night. All night, right? So, the stop. Damn, you let Flip blackball me? That's wild. Shaking my head. This industry crazy. Man, Danny, if you don't get the f out of here with that, man. Danny, Danny, do I have to get on the phone with you, Danny? Do I have to explain something to you, Danny? Come on, Danny. You asked to come on the show, then you did some suspects, Danny. We could talk about it. We could always get on the phone and talk about it. It's whatever. Let me get back to this topic, right? Ain't nobody blackball nobody. Nobody can't call me and tell me, yo, don't do this. I make my own decisions, man. I'm my own boss. Stop. Ain't no blackballing nothing. I make my own decisions. You feel me? Anyway. So, Cole, after all these verses that we heard, I wish a nigga would, this, that, okay, we know the story. Put out the joint, then he retracted it, took it off.
Today, we find ourselves immersed in the musings of none other than the Brooklyn-bred bar spitter, Matt Hoffa, as he unleashes his thoughts on QueenzFlip, the latest co-host on Joe Budden's podcast. What we have here, dear audience, is not merely a conversation, it is a cacophony of clashing egos, a labyrinth of loyalty, and a lesson in industry survival. And Matt Hoffa, armed with his Brooklyn grit and unfiltered candor, is ready to dissect the complexities of QueenzFlip's meteoric rise in this cutthroat game we call entertainment. First, let's contextualize the storm that Matt Hoffa finds himself weathering. QueenzFlip, once a content creator who thrived off chaotic, often humorous interviews and prank-like stunts, has now ascended to the upper echelons of podcasting by joining forces with none other than Joe Budden, a figure notorious for his sharp tongue and equally sharp business acumen. But in the world of podcasting, especially the Joe Budden podcast, nothing is ever as simple as it seems. Relationships, business deals, and personal histories intersect like a tangled web of high-stakes chess. And Matt Hoffa, having been around the industry block a few times, knows this all too well. Now, Matt's reaction to QueenzFlip's newfound position is layered, multifaceted, and tinged with the skepticism of a man who's seen far too many betrayals in the entertainment industry. On one hand, Hoffa acknowledges the grind, the long, arduous road that QueenzFlip has traversed to get to this point. But on the other hand, there's an underlying sense of disillusionment, a recognition that QueenzFlip's rise might have come with compromises, perhaps a few backdoor moves that aren't sitting well with Hoffa's street-hardened sense of loyalty. And speaking of loyalty, let's not ignore the elephant in the room, this so-called blackballing that Matt Hoffa alludes to. In this labyrinth of egos and alliances, the term blackball is thrown around like currency in a high-stakes poker game. It's a charge that suggests industry gatekeeping, the idea that certain individuals are being frozen out of opportunities by unseen forces pulling the strings. Now, Matt Hoffa, a man of no small reputation, vehemently denies being subject to this shadowy practice. But oh, the subtext. Could it be that Matt sees QueenzFlip's rise as part of a larger narrative where doors are quietly shut for some, while others are ushered in with open arms? Let's also not gloss over the layered complexity of the industry itself. The entertainment business is a veritable minefield where friendships, business, and ambition collide with explosive consequences. Matt Hoffa, no stranger to the battles, both literal and figurative, that define the rap game, knows the rules of this treacherous terrain. He's been in the trenches, battling in ciphers and navigating the ever-changing tides of public opinion. And now, to see someone like QueenzFlip, whose antics once seemed far removed from the gravitas of hip-hop's higher circles, joining forces with Joe Budden, a kingpin in the podcasting world? Well, that's enough to make anyone question the mechanics of this unforgiving industry. But let us not forget, QueenzFlip, despite his sometimes clownish persona, is no fool. His ascent isn't accidental, it's calculated. He's found a niche, exploited it, and ridden it to the top. And therein lies the rub for Matt Hoffa. QueenzFlip's rise doesn't sit well, not because Matt is hating from the sidelines, but because he sees the game for what it is, a game of survival, where ethics and loyalty are often sacrificed at the altar of success. And now we arrive at the heart of the matter, Matt's sense of self-determination star. Amidst all the swirling accusations of blackballing, shadowy dealings, and betrayal, Hoffa stands firm in his belief that no one controls him. He is, in his own words, the master of his own destiny, unshackled by the whims of industry gatekeepers. But oh, the irony! Even as Matt professes his independence, the specter of exclusion looms large. Is it truly possible to navigate this industry without playing the game? Can one remain entirely unscathed by the forces of manipulation and control that dictate who gets a seat at the table and who doesn't? It's this tension that makes Hoffa's commentary on QueenzFlip so compelling. It's not just a matter of personal beef, it's a reflection of a larger existential crisis within the entertainment world. As Matt ruminates on his place in this ever-shifting landscape, he's also grappling with the question that haunts every artist: is it better to play the game and win, or to stand outside the system and risk being left behind? And oh, how QueenzFlip plays the game. His energy, his humor, his antics, all perfectly tailored to capture the chaotic essence of Joe Budden's podcast. But at what cost? For every joke, every outburst, every viral moment, there is a trade-off. Authenticity, loyalty, respect, these are the currencies that often get spent in the pursuit of fame. And Matt Hoffa, ever the street philosopher, can't help but wonder if QueenzFlip has paid too high a price for his newfound success. But let us not mistake Hoffa's musings as mere bitterness. No, this is a man who has navigated the labyrinth of the industry long enough to see the cracks in its foundation. His words are not those of a scorned outsider, but of a seasoned veteran who recognizes the duplicity that runs deep within the business. His critique of QueenzFlip is less about personal animosity and more about the broader forces at play. In the end, Matt Hoffa's thoughts on QueenzFlip serve as a meditation on the nature of success in an industry built on shifting sands. QueenzFlip, for all his antics and unpredictability, has found a way to thrive in this environment. But Matt Hoffa, ever the introspective warrior, questions the cost of that success. And in doing so, he offers us a glimpse into the deeper, often unspoken realities of the rap game, podcasting, and the entertainment industry at large. In conclusion, what we are witnessing here is not just a clash between two personalities, but a collision of worldviews. Matt Hoffa, rooted in the principles of loyalty, authenticity, and self-determination, finds himself at odds with a world that seems to reward the opposite. And QueenzFlip, he's simply playing the game, doing whatever it takes to rise to the top. But in a world where the rules are constantly changing, the question remains, who truly wins?